Yes.
Okay. You ready for roll call?
Well, let me just
Call
today with this one.
one meeting to order.
We're gonna call the meeting to order, guys. Welcome to the ZBA meeting for April 16th. Roll call, please.
Member Olson?
Addison.
He's on vacation.
Yeah.
Member Duffy?
Present.
Member Maggio? Absent. Member Bennett?
Present.
Member Lopez Hernandez?
Present.
Member Powitz?
Present.
Member Makua?
Present.
Perfect.
First case, case number 10062.
Wait,
2 and 3. We're gonna
you
start
want to do
with
it
2.
together?
Well, we're gonna start with 2, then we're gonna go with
He has to start with 3 first.
3?
Yeah.
All right, fine. We'll start with 3 first. 38 South Common Street. Can you read the description, please?
That's Terry.
That's me.
Right here. It's right.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
No, I got it. Okay, the legal notice for the zoning board of appeals will hear all parties of interest on the following petitions on Tuesday, April 16th. At 7 PM, room 302 Lynn, City Hall. Location is 38 South Common Street, Lynn, Massachusetts. Which case are we doing first?
3. This next one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the folder. Can I get those for me? What you're reading?
Petitioner Neighborhood Development Association, Inc., 10 Church Street, Lynn, Massachusetts, by his attorney James Moore, CBA 10063, to petition pursuant to MGL C40A S.6 for a finding that the alterations of 2 existing non-conforming vacant buildings into 52 residential units of veterans-only housing shall not be more substantially detrimental than the existing non-conforming structures to the neighborhood. MGLC.40, S.6 states pre-existing non-conforming structures or uses may be extended or altered, provided that no such extension or alteration shall be permitted unless there is a finding by the permit granting authority that such change, extension, or alteration shall not be substantially more detrimental than the existing non-conforming use to the neighborhood. That's it.
All right, Attorney? Oh, yeah, so, okay, start.
Just some additional visuals.
Sure.
My name is Jeff Whedon. I'm an employee at the Lynn Housing Authority in Neighborhood Development. I'm here representing Neighborhood Development Associates, which is the nonprofit that the Lynn Housing Authority administers. So before I introduce part of the team, I do want to give a little context and background on the project.
Sure. Yeah.
So this project,
You just give us your address real quick.
my address is 14 Westminster Road in Rockland.
Thank you.
So this project, I'm excited to be here because it's a long time coming. This project started in 2015. We got a letter from the Governor Baker's administration for a public property program that he had, where he gave letters to the city of Lynn, the Housing Authority, City Council, the mayor, to see if there's any public property, any use for the Lynn Armory building. At the time, it was empty, and they were looking to get rid of it. And we thought this would be a great opportunity to put veterans housing in the Armory. We thought it'd be a great fit and a cool idea. At the time, we did our due diligence. We worked with DCAM, who owned the building on the state side. We worked with DHCD at the time to see if this is feasible for the tax credits. And we decided we were going to go through with it. And we applied for tax credit funding. We did not get awarded, but we were put on hold to do historic tax credit funding. So because it's a historic building, we said we'll go for historic tax credits. And the way Massachusetts tax credits goes, it comes in increments. So we have to apply 3 times a year until we get the full amount. So we're still doing that. And that's part of why it's been so long getting to this point. We did come before the ZBA prior in 2018, I believe, in November, and we did get some variances approved. However, the project has changed slightly due to the cost of the first design. So we're back redesigning it. We do have a contractor, we're at 100% design, we have a contractor in place, and we're ready to move forward. I do want to introduce part of the team. John Kroll from Deer Hero Architects is here. So if you have any questions regarding the design and layout, and then Attorney James Moore, he can describe the petition.
Okay. All right, maybe a word from the architects. If you could just run us through the design and what do you think from here?
John Cole from Deer Hill Architects, 40 Roll Street, Peterson. So the project consists of two buildings, the Armory itself, built in 1895, which consists of two parts. The front part that you see from the street called the head house. Behind that is called the drill shed, which is really a big gymnasium type space. And then there's a second building in the rear, built approximately 1949, that is a garage. So what we are doing is completely turning both buildings into apartments, mostly one-bedroom apartments, though in the head house in the front, there was an opportunity to do a couple of two-bedrooms and even one bedroom, one three-bedroom, I believe. So the head house itself is 3 stories plus a basement, and that's all full of apartments with the exception of one small office and one small meeting room for the staff that would be there. And in the drill shed in the back, we're actually putting in a second level over the big atrium space in the middle. So that it was important to the historic commission that we leave as much of that exposed as possible. So again, this is downstairs, this is the first story, you look up, you see the second story. This is the second story, everything's open above that, up to the existing roof structure. The garage itself, we are actually putting in a mezzanine. We contemplated, you can actually see on the top of the building, those columns, that the building was originally intended to carry another floor, and the structure is there. But the historic commission would allow that. So we're actually putting,
Would it or would?
would not allow us to change the building that drastically. So we're putting a mezzanine in the building and creating a second floor. And that is going to turn into 16 sort of townhouse units. Living room, kitchen, bathroom on the first floor, and then a bedroom upstairs above that. There's some, it's a very tight site. There is some landscaping that's going in wherever we can. We're also fitting in National Grid equipment. And that's basically the gist of it, but obviously I'll answer any questions that you may have about the design.
And then, parking, are we planning on mitigating that between both buildings?
That was the design change from the 2018 petition, is that because of what John had mentioned about that back building, the garage there, the cost to suspend the units, we're going to have garage parking underneath.
Okay.
The cost to suspend it with the steel construction and dig below grade was too much for the amount of units, the per unit cost that would be allowable by the state. So the parking, we did have to take it out of the garage. So we don't currently have parking. We have 3 spots for the accessible units.
Currently, is that what you're seeking? Are you seeking favors?
Yeah,
That's why they're seeking that.
that's the second application.
So,
What about employees? How many employees will be there?
There'll be 1 staff member.
One staff?
Yeah.
I have a question about the garage portion. I see that the townhouse model, most of them have stairs. Just curious about the project itself, or ADA accessibility, or any veterans that are disabled. Does that mean that that portion of the demographic that would be applying for housing or trying to live there would be reference to the Armory portion of it because of the elevator and not
The
the...
Armory has an elevator in it. It has 3 units that are fully accessible. Everything else is what they call visitable. But the Armory itself has, the drill shed itself will have a new elevator, and there'll be the 3 units that are required. But yes, so while the common spaces of the garage are required to be accessible within the units, it's not.
Any other question for the rest of the members?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In the 2018, how many parking spaces did you propose?
I believe there was 21, 22. What it was the first floor of the garage had about 18 or 19 spaces, and then there were a few spaces outside of that. What really happened was that the dollar per unit came in so high that they said we had to go back and we had to find a way to get more units. So we went from a garage on the bottom floor and 6 units upstairs to the 16 townhouse units, and picked up another 10 units, which dramatically increased the funding availability for the project.
So does the demographic of veterans, do they not have automobiles?
We do, so the tax credit, the low-income housing tax credit that we're applying through DHCD, they are different level of incomes, and we, based on another building we've done, and a lot of the homeless units and the 30% AMI units typically don't have cars. There will be 60% AMI units that we do anticipate might have cars. So we are going to look for alternative options for parking, whether it's other buildings we own or near our office. But we do think it won't be, not everyone will have a car. It won't be,
But then how you plan on mitigating that now, you know, if they end up getting cars?
no, I know, we're looking, we're looking at all options of parking. So neighboring businesses and our office is around the block.
But it almost seems like you should, you know, come in front of us, you should have presented something that, you know, at least we can hear about, or you've been talking to whoever's, next adjacent building, or you don't have to be doing any other things. You can talk to other neighboring businesses, see if we can have overnight parking. But right now, it's just kind of vague. We don't know how many cars or where.
Yeah, well,
you know.
Yeah, no, we don't anticipate, like I said, we don't anticipate everyone having a car. And we do have an office around the block that we can utilize, and we are looking for other parking as well. Yep.
I didn't have a chance to look at the landscape plan. You said you're doing a little bit of landscape. Do we have any little spaces where these veterans can sit outside?
We do have very little space in that back drive area, but we do anticipate utilizing the commons block across the street.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Any other question or remarks, concerns?
So these are historic properties, and there's historical constraints. I see on the roof plan for the garage, there are heat pumps. So in terms of the new type of development, balancing between the historical necessities and those constraints, is this going to try to be as energy efficient as possible? Is this going to be full electric development? Or is there going to be gas?
This is mostly electric. The state, in applying for the state funding, there's a whole process of a green analysis that we go through. I believe we're using gas for the domestic hot water still, but everything else is electric.
So cooking and,
Yes.
yeah, all that. And
I don't believe we're gonna have gas hooked up to the garage. That is gonna be all electric, but the armory itself, I think, is the domestic hot water is gonna be gas.
so, and the heat pumps obviously are the heat pumps that can accommodate a cold winter
Yes.
in Massachusetts.
And I know that the stretch code communities in Massachusetts have certain criteria that now have to be met in terms of parkings and EVs. Does this project trigger any of those where the parking lots have to be EV ready, or certain portions of the parkings have to be EVs?
It would if we had all of these parking, but normally, if we should be granted this without the parking, then no, it's not required.
Good. Any other person speak on behalf of this project? Attorney?
It's gonna be the letters, yeah.
Okay.
But this is the wrong address.
This is from you.
This is the-
Thank you.
It's for
agreement.
Okay. It was a Friday, she didn't.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is James Moore. I'm an attorney at law. I practice in Lynn, Massachusetts. And I'm a resident of Lynn. I've been a resident for 79 odd years. I'm very happy to be here. I grew up in the neighborhood of the Armory, so it's a little bit of a thing for me to be here, helping to convert the Armory to a use which will save the building, most importantly. My comments shall be to the zoning issues involved with the proposed development and the use of the existing buildings which do not comply with existing dimensional requirements of the City of Lynn zoning ordinance. As the proposed use, the buildings are both located in an R5 zoning district. Apartment houses under the Lynn zoning ordinance are an allowed by right use in the R5 zoning district. So the use requires no zoning relief. The existing buildings, however, do not conform with the dimensional requirements of the City of Lynn zoning ordinance. The buildings were constructed by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The main building in 1994 and approximately 1956 for the garage building. The land and buildings have been continually owned by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts since as to the land under the main building, April 17, 1893, and the land under the garage building since September 10th, 1936. Land owned by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and any building constructed by the Commonwealth are exempt from all local zoning ordinances at all times. The question in this circumstance is what happens to the status of the building once the Commonwealth no longer owns the land with the buildings. This circumstance occurred when the Commonwealth transferred the property to Neighborhood Development, the current owner of the property, on January 25th, 2019. The question was addressed on July 19th, 2017 holding in the Massachusetts Appeals Court case of Graham Gunn versus Planning Board of Cambridge. The appeals court decided in similar circumstances that, quote, after a transfer of buildings constructed by the Commonwealth, while exempt from local zoning ordinances or bylaws, the buildings have the status of non-conforming buildings. So after the transfer, they have the standing as non-conforming buildings. In Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 48, Section 6, the Zoning Enabling Act, a non-conforming building may be extended or altered, provided that no such extension or alteration shall be permitted unless there is a finding by the permit granting authority that such change, extension, or alteration shall not be substantially more detrimental to the existing non-conforming use in the neighborhood. The existing non-conforming use is an empty building unused for any purpose and subject to the same problems of all vacant buildings, such as physical deterioration, potential vandalism, and fire. The petitioner submits that the alteration of the building to provide for veterans housing cannot be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing non-conforming use. The petitioner respectfully requests that the board make a finding that the alteration of the buildings to provide for veterans housing is not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing use of the building. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for me?
No,
That's enough.
that's fine.
Thank you.
We receive a letter here, from,
We have a couple of letters.
couple letters, okay, we read that.
We have one from, do you care which one I read from?
No,
Okay, we have one from your council person from your district, from your ward, sorry. Dear Chairman Makawa, as you are aware, I am the duly elected Ward 5 Councilor in the City of Lynn, and am currently Vice President of the Lynn City Council. I am writing this letter in support of two petitions this evening filed by Neighborhood Development Association, Inc., for the redevelopment of the former Armory building at 38 South Common Street. As you are aware, this project will create 52 units of veterans-only housing that are desperately needed in the city of Lynn. Veterans have proudly served our nation and deserve to live in a residential complex worthy of their service to our country.
The project has received significant financial support from the city from funding through the American Rescue Plan Act and is strongly supported by numerous local veteran organizations. The proposed project lacks the parking required by the City of Lynn zone ordinance. However, many of the veterans who will reside at the complex will not own vehicles and will instead rely on public transportation. I do not believe the proposed veterans-only housing will be any more detrimental than prior uses of the Armory. As the ward counselor who represents this neighborhood, I enthusiastically support these two petitions and respectfully request that the Zoning Board of Appeals act favorably upon these applications. Thank you for your consideration in this matter. Very truly yours, Diana M. Shakutis. And then the second memorandum is from the EDIC. It was written on April 9th. The development team met with the staff of the Neighborhood Development Associates, NDA, regarding the proposed project at the Armory Building located at South Common Street. The proposal will renovate the Armory and create mixed-income housing for veterans. The project has strong support from the City Council, the state delegation, and the Veterans Service Director, Mike Sweeney. The City of Lynn has committed significant funds to this project, including $1 million in ARPA funds, as well as $1 million in home funds. NDA has applied for and received federal and state historic tax credits. The project will provide 52 residential units for veterans. The development team strongly supports this worthy project and respectfully asks that the Board of Appeals grants this petition.
So just one quick question. In regard to the parking again, are you guys planning on actually just managing the whole parking situation? Are you getting tags? Are the 3-bedroom gets 1.5? Like,
So there's, the only parking would be the 3 accessible spaces, so the handicap units. So if they're the ones that,
staff, maybe a staff member will probably have.
staff can utilize our parking lot. We're not considering the staff parking.
All right, okay. Thank you.
Sure.
We want against this project. I see none behind you, so what's the wish of the board?
So we just it's just for the 63, right?
Yes, yeah, 63, just
For the use?
the finding. Yes.
Make a motion for this.
Okay. Okay, so-
I second.
okay. Roll call, please.
Member Duffy to grant?
Yes to grant.
Member Bennett to grant?
Yes to grant.
Member Lopez Hernandez to grant?
Yes, to grant.
Member Cowitz to grant?
Yes, to grant.
And Member McCool?
Yes, to grant.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion is passed. Second case,
Do we just make another motion at this point to, or do we need to
You
hear?
gotta read it.
yeah, I think we
Okay.
can start to read it.
You gotta read it. Oh. There you go.
Sorry, I give it back to you.
And the letters are the same thing, just so you know.
The letters apply as well.
You don't have to read it.
Okay, so this is ZBA 10062, location 38 South Common Street, Lynn, Massachusetts, partial number 052732204. Petitioner, Neighborhood Development Association, 10 Church Street, Lynn, Massachusetts, by his attorney, James Moore. To vary pursuant to MGL C40A S.10, the provisions of the City of Lynn Zone Ordinance to allow the construction in 2 non-conforming buildings of 52 of veterans-only housing. 4 variances are requested. 1 handicap parking spaces without the other 75 spaces required. 2, an 11-foot 6-inch drive. 3, without the 5% interior landscaping. And 4, an allowance for rear existing into a public way. The variance request requires the Zoning Board of Appeals to specifically find that owing to such circumstances relating to the soil conditions, shape, or topography of such land or structures, and especially affecting such land or structures but not affecting generally the zoning district in which it is located, a literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, to the petitioner, and that desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of such
ordinance.
All right, let's have the floor again. Just brief and then go back. Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
Jeff Whedon again, 14 Westminster Road, Marblehead. I won't go back obviously into the history of it, but just to reiterate on the parking issue, because I know that is the big one. That is something that we did want originally. That's what we had in the plans to keep. We are a nonprofit. This isn't something that's we're going to profit off of because of the change. This is something that the deal probably wouldn't be done if we had to include the parking as it was originally. So we did think long and hard, even the option of demolishing that back garage and making that the parking for the other building. But because of the historic aspect, we were limited. So this was the best.
Scenario.
The best scenario was to add more units to bring the cost per unit down and have the 3 accessible units at the very least, and then explore other options, as I mentioned before. So the demographic of the building, like we mentioned before, it's going to be some homeless, some 30%, some 60% AMI. So it is going to be the lower incomes for the city. We do think it's a walkable area, grocery stores, transportation. A block away is the central business district doesn't require parking. So we were hoping that all those things considered, we thought that this project, pushing it forward and getting 16 extra units was kind of a win-win. So that's kind of our thought process.
Sounds good. All right. So, it seems like you want to add a few more words there.
Again, my name is James Moore.
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer in Lynn, Massachusetts, and an 80-year resident of Lynn. As to the variances, the question of compliance with the City of Lynn zoning ordinance for non-building zoning requirements such as parking, unlike the dimensional requirements which can be dealt with by a Section 6 finding, is not clearly set forth in the Cambridge zoning case which I referenced when speaking on the finding. The proposed use may or may not be exempt from the existing parking requirements. The Cambridge case is unclear at best. With such uncertainty, the owner has decided to seek zoning relief in the form of variances to settle the question before undertaking the cost and time of proposed development. And as I might insert, in the end, what I'm doing here is I'm preparing myself to write a zoning opinion for lending council, which might not happen in about a year, and explain why it all complies. So there is no space on this property for the required parking for an apartment house use or for any other use that requires parking. The developer wants to put in 3 handicap parking spaces, even though those 3 parking spaces require dimensional variances as set out in the variance petition. The petitioner respectfully requests that the board grant the variances requested to allow for the 3 handicap spaces and without the required 75 parking spaces, with an 11-foot 6-inch wide drive and without the required 5% interior landscaping, and to allow rear exiting. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Anybody questions?
No,
I have one question related to the parking
Yeah.
aspects. I know that it was mentioned that trying to make it work with the current property owned by Elhand, also in South Common Street. How many parking spaces are there in the property?
There's 3 handicap spaces will be available. That's all the spaces there are. If you look at the existing condition plans, you will see that there is no vacant land on the property. No vacant land is tight for zoning, for parking. There is no room. I'm sure that the neighborhood developer and the Lynn Housing Authority will work to try to find existing parking in the neighborhood. But such parking can't be the basis for zoning relief because it needs to be under the same ownership and control of the owner. So while they will do this, it won't help if they got another 5 spaces, 10 spaces somewhere else, because they're not gonna own it. And they need a 99-year lease for the count. So it's more like you'll find and you'll read about the situations, especially in bigger cities, where they're now constructing apartment houses without parking and allowing for public transportation. It can be risky because of the availability of tenants who must take public parking, but our use here is a little bit different also. So, with that said, that's about the best we can do for parking is to bid in 3 handicap spaces, but not regular parking.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so,
I mean, it's just I feel it's a great project. I'm on board with everything. Just to go from 75 to 20 to 0 is a big jump for parking. I know we snuck into some handicap. It's just that, I don't know, I just kind of want to throw it out there. It's a tough sell for me, at least on the parking alone. I think it's a great project. I've been waiting for this building to get developed perfectly for veteran housing. It's just about the parking stuff. I mean, I know we don't expect the people to have cars and residents to have cars, but what happens when they do? We have nothing for them, I guess. And I know it wouldn't help leasing spots, but I mean, I think it would help us a little bit to know there was some kind of backup plan or overflow.
I think that's exactly what I was mentioning, right? At least if you would have came in here with a conversation or a letter from neighbors or a business that they're willing to give you a space. Well, the St. Mary's at nighttime, right? That's adjacent, that's not far from the space, right? At least those conversations, I think it would definitely help us with this situation, because this is very drastic. We've never seen this from, I think, any other petition. You require this amount and you bring it out to almost 0. So I just want to make a comment about that as well. So I'll second exactly what Brett was trying to.
I have a question for Attorney Lamanna. In terms of, so as it was exposed, future parking, if it's not owned or leased by 99 years, that wouldn't count, even if it's outside of the premises. If the board finds that a stipulation saying that there should be written confirmation that there are efforts to try to guarantee that through MOUs or agreements with third parties, other property owners as a condition to this approval, even if it's just for the board's own peace of mind that at least some percentage of the parking is trying to be addressed, is that still doable? And can the project still move forward as you understand the project being proposed right now?
That condition can be placed on from the board, that they will make the efforts as they indicated that they intend to do. Whether that satisfies you, that's an individual decision for each board member.
Well, if I could comment, if you were to put that type of condition of restriction to the variance, we will never be able to comply with it, because we will never be able to comply with making reasonable efforts. Nobody knows what reasonable efforts are. And zoning council for the lender will say, well, how do we know that you're making reasonable efforts?
Well,
It's not something that would go into a zoning variance. It's a condition that really is not definite enough to say that you're either complying with it or you're not complying with it.
So let me ask you, when we plan to do a construction?
That's different than them telling you that they will always be making efforts to find parking spaces in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
That, I can assure you they'll do. But whether or not I could write an opinion saying that a variance that contain that condition can be complied with is a much different question, especially for a lender.
Okay, I understood. The architect and Jeff, right? When you plan on producing CD drawing and when you plan on doing construction here? Are we talking when for funding? A year, 2 years, 5 years, or?
Our goal is to close this year with the state, with the tax credit funding. So if we close by the end of the year, then we can start right away next year.
You can start construction by next year?
Yeah.
So,
The construction drawings will do in 2 weeks.
okay.
And then there's another bid in 2 weeks.
So, I think in order to satisfy, I think maybe an effort should still be made. Whether it's a letter, like I mentioned, whether it's St. Mary or St. Stephen, those lots are empty at nighttime.
As is the housing authority law.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So at least there's some type of form of a letter showing that there has been a conversations.
Yep.
I think, at least again, it's personally, I'll be okay with that. At least, and then we can revisit this whether it's within 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Or next week. When's the next meeting?
May 7th,
So
or May 21st.
you have at least two dates in next month that you can come back to us and show us that there has been some type of effort to satisfy the board.
Okay.
Is that sound doable on your end?
Well, are we talking about not voting on the petition tonight and waiting for that? Is that what?
Well, that will be a wish of the rest of the board, but
Yes.
I'm sensing that's probably what we're talking about here.
Well, I'm only concerned about if you were voting on the variance, what the motion would say.
Well,
If it says something that indefinite, then that's what the variance is going to be.
right,
If that's what the variance.
aware of that.
If
How about a
if that's
motion?
what the variance is, it's not going to be enforceable.
So I think what he's saying.
How about a motion that just says that we continue the case and until,
The end of the month, May.
whatever, yeah, until you can come back with some letters that, provide us with some letters that say, you're meeting our requests for finding and we've agreed with so-and-so that we can use their parking space at night. We've agreed with so-and-so, we can
Sure.
use their parking space at night.
Sure, I'm sure they'll be happy to send those types of requests out. And when we get the answer, we can come back and tell you what it was.
Right.
And then we can further discuss.
That's exactly what we're saying here.
And then we can make a motion.
More concerned that you would have just voted on it with the condition edit that happens. That.
No, that's exactly what we're saying. We're giving you guys time to at least attempt to have a conversation with neighbors.
I think we all like this project. I think the concern is the city of Lynn is so darn crowded and parking is so, if there's anything that you can do to get something in writing to show us that you
Right.
are,
Sure.
best efforts working with neighbors.
And we agree. Like I said, we initially had the parking.
Totally.
The reason we didn't come in with
Right.
was because of the 99-year lease and having ownership of the spot.
Right.
So we didn't want that to be become an issue. But we are in discussion. We're happy to do that. But we thought that being a walkable transit area,
Yeah.
and the demographic that we're going to house, it's an affordable project. We're hoping that our good
It
faith.
is an amazing project, but you and I won't be here 80 more years, right? So we don't want to make this, decision here and not know what the future will look like, okay? At least we're here with presidents, let's just try and make it right for all of us.
As an aside, I may mention that across the street on the other side of Pleasant Street
Yeah,
is the beginning of the central business district.
right,
There are no parking requirements.
Correct.
In the central business
Yes.
district. So any use could go without any parking. So it's not
yeah.
unusual right here, but it is unusual in general. And I can
Understood.
appreciate the board's
Understood.
concern.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
So I make a motion to continue this case.
When do you guys want to come back?
The end of the month or early in the month or? Well, it's up to you guys.
2 weeks or 4 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, May 7th, good? Okay.
We continue this case until May 7th. So the owner has a chance to provide letters from neighboring areas allowing parking on site at night.
Overnight parking or snow.
I second.
Second, okay.
You guys okay with that? Any kinds of feedback? Okay. All right. Roll call.
To continue to May 7th, for getting letters from the neighborhood area allowing parking for the residents. Member Duffy?
Yes, to continue.
Member Bennett?
Yes, to continue.
Okay. Member Lopez Hernandez?
Yes, to continue.
Member Crowitz?
Yes, to continue.
And Member Makua?
Yes, to continue.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you, and we'll see you guys.
Not yet. Jimmy,
Thank you very much.
No problem.
we need someone to sign off on this waiver.
That's why she asked me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a great project.
Quick question. What's going on with the Lower Washington project?
Which one? Yeah.
Yeah, the empty lot over there that
I know.
you came
had
to
a,
help us many years, 5, 6 years ago, I think. 5 years.
we had
Yeah.
a developer that kind of fell through.
Yeah,
Thank
And
you.
then we have these other projects, so still looking.
Thank you so much.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I know.
All right, well, last case, right?
Yes, let's go.
All right, last case, 69 Essex Street.
We've read him. We can read them again if you want. Yeah. You can read that.
Okay,
Thank you.
69 Essex Street,
You too. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
to vary pursuant to MGLC 40A S.10, the provisions of the City of Lynn zone ordinance to allow the conversion of a two-family home into a three-family dwelling unit in the Business B District, sorry. Apartment houses are permitted by right in the R4 district. Apartment houses are required to have 15,000 square foot minimum lot area. Property contains 8,276, 50 feet of frontage, minimum front setback of 10 feet, minimum rear setback of 15 feet, minimum side yard setback of 7.5 feet are required. 1.5 spaces per dwelling unit is also required. The variance request requires the Zoning Board of Appeals to specifically find that owing to circumstances relating to the soil conditions, shape or topography of such land or structures, and especially affecting such land or structures, but not affecting generally the zoning district in which it is located, a literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, to the petitioner, and that desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of such ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think, this case here, I think today is to present the funding that was requested last time you were here.
The issue was the parking space and the elevation of the property. You guys wanted to see
Exactly.
side, front, and show proper space in the back to accommodate the parking space. And I believe that right now,
You have to.
with the land surveyor that I had,
Yeah.
and also to accommodate those areas, and also the height of the building is clearly indicated in those drawings.
And the plot plan.
Yes, we have it, yeah.
I don't know the back
So-
of the case, but I looked at it. Where it was.
Any additional question?
The only question, looking at the overview of the parking, there's 4 parking spaces in a row, side parking spaces. Just as a reminder again, how would residents be able to park on those 4 parking spaces? Would it be a coordination of each one?
Well, since the original site has a deck and an additional extension there.
Yeah.
All that stuff is gonna be gone.
She's just.
So from the back of the house to the back, the fence in the back is 46 feet, which allow comfortably 3 parking side by side, and also a turn to go in and out of the,
I've had a chance to drive in a lot after that meeting last month. And I really had no issues.
and I only have,
There were no issues. I drove in the parking lot last week. I saw a couple of trash barrels on the side.
yeah.
But I had no issue driving in,
And the intent was just to put just 6 parking spaces, not 7.
yeah,
She's.
yeah.
Any other questions on my?
There's only 4.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I can vote
You
on
know,
this.
you can-
The
you know the case.
Yeah. I don't think we can vote on it.
only dilemma with this case tonight is only 4 of us heard your case.
I was not here.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We could have told you this right in the very beginning. I didn't even think of it. I'm so
That's the
sorry.
only dilemma, and I don't think we can even vote on this, right? Maybe,
Put a vote before that, so that's a chance.
okay, oh, yes, that's correct.
You could be waiting for.
So it's up to you, right? So you can, you can allow us to vote, and if you're unsatisfied based on the document you presented to us, you get voted down, and it moves forward.
Okay.
Right? Or if you're not comfortable enough, you can wait until we have the 2 other members who were here during the last hearing and allow the regular voting process to proceed.
Now, let me ask you guys, apart from being short of a few members.
Yeah.
You guys have any other questions for me, so I can satisfy at least for people the 5 people that are here?
I am satisfied based on all the requests that we asked you, and you was able to present it, and I was able to walk, drive to the space, so I can only speak for me, but
It's a fair question.
yeah, there's 3 other members there. If any of you guys, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Duffy, if you guys have any concern, questions, additional requests,
Just, I feel like this, I asked for the section, and I'm just trying to figure out just looking at, you proposed the first, second, third floor plan. I was just looking at the stairs. I see it's worked out and,
There's also stuff in the folder.
are those drawings in there?
yeah, there's some additional.
There's other
drawings,
stuff
yeah.
in there.
Yeah, it was, I'm just looking at it.
I know you were.
Are those the ones that we got recently?
Yep.
No.
And there's a dump, look up there. You just said,
these.
No, that's not.
It's just, that it has the upper, this one. Or are you looking for the schematic?
I was looking for, yeah.
he just sent me.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
The same thing.
that's what I have.
yeah, you have the same thing.
Those are.
Okay.
Under the folder.
With the finishes, how you present this on
That's
the exterior finishes are gonna go.
Because that just came,
Okay.
Is that satisfy you guys?
I knew there was something else.
In terms of trash, everybody will be having the trash barrels inside their units, or is there a common area for the
There's an area where, by the stairs, intend to put them, allocate them there
Yeah.
to allow, easy access into the basement as well.
I don't have anything else.
So as far as the footprint of the building, like, I asked for an existing proposed plot plan, which is, this is the plot plan, this is by the architect here. What is getting added,
What's in that one
like, is the footprint, what
Yeah,
what is
I
changing
just
in the
gave
footprint,
that.
I guess?
today?
Look at the actual size of the front page, that shows the actual building.
Yeah.
Everything, in July, in the back, widening the area that is a job to make a straight line, to accommodate those bedrooms and open floor plans. If you look at the design, you will show there's going to be this, the bedrooms, living room, bathroom, the kitchen and living area, and the kitchen.
The foundation's been poured already.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
I know.
yes, that was.
It's-
that was-
so the existing
that was my mistake.
Yeah.
I can knock it down and do it again, so that's all.
Well, that's what, like, last time you came here, you said that nothing was changing.
No,
Foundation's not changing.
since day one, since he's been here, if the foundation has, for this proposal, was already poured.
already there.
There's basement, windows, openings, it's already there.
So like a whole new foundation?
Yes, extension, it's an extension.
Extension, just,
Yeah, it's an extension. So the existing house is still there, but the growth of, with the new foundation is also there as well.
So the plan was just to go ahead and do it, I guess?
Excuse me?
So the plan was just to go ahead and, like, how do you stop, I
no,
guess?
I was gonna have you guys come in, measure me the depth of that wall that I've been built in there, so we can extend the building to make sure that it's within code, otherwise, I'm just gonna just knock it down and start all over again from scratch.
So that would be an ISD matter,
Hey, we wouldn't, like,
yeah.
we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't measure, so you don't even know
The depth,
if it conforms or not?
the depth is, there's 3 feet down, which is, that's what is the requirement. So there's,
I'm not, it's 4 feet, but we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't inspect that anyways. That's not our jurisdiction. I'm saying, like, as far as setback, so you just squared the front of this off, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
So you just squared the front of this building off here?
this side,
yeah.
the right side.
Yeah, so as you can see on the second page, all those bump out on the existing first floor and basement are no longer the existing.
So in the back, you're gonna put a new foundation?
Well, the basement, I'm not gonna go disturb the foundation, just the extension.
So this is what it used to be, now it's just, you put a new foundation there.
I just,
This was like,
Yeah, so this is all, I mean, this is all new here. This is all new here.
exactly, so it's just like, yeah, all these bump out here.
No, this one.
Snug with the wall.
The one on the side. This one is untouched. This one on the side shows black.
So what about this, here? What is this? All right, so this is the new bump.
Yeah, that's this one.
That's the
Yeah. So now, foundation is there, right?
So
Yeah.
You're losing me here. We started off on the first case, you know, nothing's changed, nothing's changed, and we asked for existing and proposed. And now, yeah, you put a foundation in, right?
in terms of, what I said, that is not right now attached to anything. So that can be.
Correct.
All right, any other?
I just want clarification. So what's the relief that they're seeking? Because I'm trying to.
It's to go from a step two to three. So it's a use.
Use is allowed, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm,
It's the setbacks and.
in the setbacks in the area.
I believe he has a setback, there's the,
I'm reading it.
right?
I'm reading it right now.
Okay.
So it's to allow the conversion of a two-family home into a three-family dwelling unit in the business district. Apartment houses are permitted by right in the R4 district. Apartment houses are required to have 15,000 square foot minimum lot area, and it doesn't contain the lot area. 50 feet of frontage, minimum front setback of 10 feet, minimum rear setback of 15 feet, minimum side yard setback of 7.5 feet are required. 1.5 parking spaces per dwelling unit is also required.
Yeah, so the setback from the street remains the same. I think the growth here, is just on the left side of the dwelling.
That's the only size, yeah.
That's the only side that's growing. It's just the left side where the driveway is growing by,
In height.
yeah, no, the heights of the.
In terms of the actual.
Yeah, it's, was it, it's like an attic, it's just going, that's not turning that to a three. Well, that's, yeah, it's not even a significant growth, there's just a bump on it that's gonna be growing.
Just,
Yeah,
above, just committee, the,
yeah. So what do you wish to?
But, so I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the advertisement. It even says it right here, 5,200 square feet, that's the size of the lot. It's wrong in the advertisement. For the 8276 for the lot area.
It was advertising correctly, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm reading it and as I'm going through trying to figure out, going through all the setbacks as I'm reviewing this. And it says, I'm looking at it right here on the front sheet of this document, it's 5,200 square feet. And the advertisement says 8276 for the property area. And that is not right for this. And that seems like as I'm reading it, kind of the main variance for the lot size.
You understand what he's saying here?
so the advertisement went out with the wrong dimensions. That's what we're saying?
The proposed dimension,
No, the property contains 8276. So the advertisement is saying that the current parcel, the lot, has 8276, but the plot plan has 5200, and the other one also has 5200
Yeah,
square.
that's what I'm aware of. I never advertised anything in other way than what it says there.
But that's the main point of this, is the minimum lot size, and it's 1,500, so.
One of the reliefs.
One the relief.
Um,
So not just, so the area dimension that you're also seeking a relief for, and also the heights, I mean, not the heights, the conversion from a 2 to a 3. So there's there's more than one relief that you're seeking here tonight. You're growing as well, the house.
Well, I'm going up, not the width. I'm putting another floor.
No, it's not, well,
I'm going up,
you also, yes, you are going up as well.
exactly.
But the heights, the top of the heights, I think that's something actually will remain the same. For both,
Right there is what the height is 34, some,
He's showing you 3-story structure. It used to be a 2-story.
I believe that what was in the last meeting is that the height of the attic matches to the current height. It's just that it's spanning out horizontally so that.
so the attic is.
Instead of a gable.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And the gable is gonna be a flat roof.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yes.
So this is what he's supposed to have. And this is what he has. Just trying to
My question is,
Sure.
the city who put that on the advertisement? The differentiation between the 8276?
But the ad, I can say that there was no, the plans were not viewable as originally submitted.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
it didn't say the side setback, or the setback, or front setback.
I think
ISD was contemplating not accepting it, and eventually they accepted it.
I provided those site plan, where it says, yeah, it's like 52 and 100. Yeah, 100 and 52. But the bedroom, they want already.
I think
copy
it's
that
certified.
to everyone.
He originally put in,
I
not
put
certified.
that 75 feet of frontage.
But I'm just
needed,
saying.
so we had 50. I couldn't put that in this ad because the plans originally submitted didn't say what the frontage is, it didn't say what the setback
Yeah.
was. So that's why these stack components, it's just, that this is what the word requires. The original plans didn't state any of the setbacks.
Sounds like still maybe some lingering concern here with the rest of the board here. So what do you wish to do here?
At this point in time, I guess that we're jumping into another area right now, because before it was just the condition, the area of the parking and the height. Now we just seem to be moving into another area that I was not aware of.
Yeah, that's what it's good to have stipulation. Yeah.
Because all along, even the solar I'm presenting you, it's 52 and 100. And that's the thing, the dimension since I purchased the house. So,
We asked for those three. And then the one down below.
Okay.
What was the commission have asked for?
He's, the plot plan,
Existing and proposed?
no, it's just, plot plan. Oh, yeah, current and proposed with, offsets.
Which we don't have, a certified plot plan of,
Yeah, we have a certified plot plan.
yeah, of existing, right?
Right, and we won't be able to get a proposed, plot plan.
Why?
I don't think that's what we asked, right?
You just said existing.
Oh, yeah, yep. So we still,
And we got these drawings an hour ago, right?
right,
Just to clarify.
We should have these drawings 10 days ago.
We got some, but then we got another one.
so just that I'm having a hard time with my architect right now, in this situation, even.
It makes it really hard for us to go through the plans and really understand what we're looking at when we only have an hour to do it.
No, I understand, I apologize for that.
okay.
I mean, I would feel more comfortable if it's possible to continue this I would like ISD, if possible, here to explain and go through us that we're evaluating everything that is needed to evaluate. What is it that is exactly being sought? And then I would feel,
This is what I've been after with this architect from the very beginning. This is another point you can do. Bring this show, everything you see today. This is what I'm looking for with the architect. And very much I'll be able to provide me with this stuff. So I am going to,
Okay. So, Greg, so we're saying, maybe next meeting to have, just quick question, just curious, right?
yeah.
We're here, we're trying to help you.
No,
I
I
think we're
understand.
trying to make this difficult for you, you know? Were you originally cited by the ISD when the foundation was being put up? Is that what led you here?
No, but when I, first of all, I went into one, I was going back and forth to a planning board, building department. So I was going, I've been trying to get here to this point.
You understand, so when we build a foundation, right? You pulled a permit for it, right?
Huh?
You pulled a permit,
This is how it happened. I purchased this property with me and someone else.
yes,
That this guy is a painter, does some construction work.
yeah,
Unbeknown to me, before Christmas, before Christmas, I went out of town. When I came back, that was already built. So what have you done? That was supposed to be there, but I haven't have no permits yet.
yeah,
So that was already there. It was, but I did my code. I said, that doesn't matter. So that's it. Well, we need to take that down. We're gonna have to take it down and start from scratch. Right now, I am able just to see if I'm able to go from a 2 to a 3.
yeah.
Period. Everything else, I can,
Okay, and then what will be the request for ISD?
I just want clarification of what exactly are the relief points that we have to evaluate?
Okay.
What is the property not?
This came from Mr. Dollinger, right?
I haven't seen that.
Right?
That's fine.
All the requirement that you,
No, I put that.
oh, you put that in.
Yeah, I can't just correct on the square footage. I submitted it as the item, and I caught that I made a mistake, I caught my email. The item advertised 8,000 on Monday. Yeah, I saw on Friday afternoon, I said, please correct it, 5,200. The item got back to me. They ran it Tuesday and the following Monday with the correct square footage. So while that wasn't published,
Okay.
it was corrected
Okay.
per the law.
Good.
So Duffy, you want to share some?
No, I'm,
Some wise thought here. Okay. I'm hearing continuing for further evaluation. I mean, I think, we did in fact ask for a proposed plot plan, which is, yes, it's not in here, in this package.
are those sections on there too?
Just the elevations.
Elevations.
Yeah, just elevations. Yeah,
Can I have my papers?
yes.
Thank you.
Just elevation. Are you able to, have the designer,
this one, I'm talking to another architect.
are you,
So that's looking for now
you have the current plot plan?
yes. So you want
Can you show us the proposed
to
plot plan? Because anything else? You think a section is necessary at this time to clarify?
Well, you only have the proposed plan for, it's a typical plan for all 3 floors. I want to make sure that the egress works out of the house.
Showing all the emergency egresses and stuff.
So, that's what.
You also wanted,
It's just,
engineer drawings on the, elevations of the property.
it's not the same.
So you want to see how the
Because
egress works?
these stairs are drawn the same.
Yeah. They're all pretty much leading to the basement.
the basement has a separate entrance.
Because I want to just make sure that it works.
Okay, so what would you
I
like?
want the sec, I thought I said the last minute, for the sections.
You want section plans?
Section plan?
Okay. And you also want the proposed plans.
Plot plan.
Yep. So I'll send you another email.
Okay.
Ladies, thank you.
And when do you think you'll be able to do it? May 7th or May 21st?
Soon.
The problem is I have to, I have to notify my abutters.
Sorry?
I have to notify the abutters every time we have a meeting.
I am going to talk to you.
I would say if you could let us know, I mean, this, I feel like this was forced today, you know?
I've been waiting for this since,
No, I know, but that's not.
No, I understand.
Do you want a TBA on
Just kind of, I mean, I got an email with these updated plans an hour before the meeting. Like, we need some time to review them, and we don't have everything that we requested. So if it's gonna take an extra month, then I would recommend to take your time and get it done correctly.
thank you.
You okay with that?
Yeah, so we,
Yeah, why don't you just call me when you get the plans?
talk tomorrow, tomorrow. and I'll-
TBA on that?
Move to continue?
Or say,
I'm gonna put a TBA on you
The end
to
of,
be announced.
the end of May, right? Is that what you said?
Do you want to do TBA, then he can bring the plans back to you and you can look at it? Okay.
We have a motion for Mr. Duffy.
I'm sorry. Mr. Duffy, what was your motion? Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you say TCA? What was it?
TBA, TBA. Then he can bring the plans back, you guys can look at them and go from there. Lopez Hernandez did that one, right? And Mr. Duffy seconded it?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just make sure this time.
I'm gonna email it to him.
All
I'm gonna-
these things will
all right,
be-
certified parking plan on the plot plan, which we have already, or no? Do we have that?
We have, yes, we have
Okay.
that.
So what about that?
Yeah, we're just looking for appropriations.
Certified,
Yeah, certified.
certified plot plan proposed and current. So we need proposed, correct?
Parking.
So we need proposed. And they also would like, they would like, did you give them the elevations?
yes, I did.
Yeah,
And the section plan?
now we need a section.
Now you need a section plan.
Just, let's just emphasize, that's what allow us to see how the flow of the egress.
The flow of the egress?
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
Okay,
Where the exiting from.
okay.
Okay?
Thank you, guys. Ladies, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You want to take a vote on that?
So did you make a motion?
Yeah, yes.
Member Duffy to continue DBA?
Yes, to continue.
Member Bennett to continue?
Yes, to continue.
Member Lopez Hernandez to continue?
Yes, to continue.
Member Crowitz to continue?
Yes.
Member McCool to continue?
Yes, to continue. Before we end here, can we just get a motion for the minute from last meeting?
April 2nd.
Thank you. Accept it.
To approve the minutes?
Yeah.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second, give me a second.
Thank you.
You good?
Yep.
Thank you. We'll be in touch. Yeah.
Since we don't have critical mass, I'm imagining that we will not be discussing rules and regulations.
Right.
Yep.
Let's wait for the next meeting.
So can I ask everyone, did they get a chance to look at Brookline Street so we can bring that back to a meeting? Brookline, it's right there. Did you see it? Brookline is trying to come back into our meeting. They had a TBA, and they brought the plans, so I want to make sure everything's on the plans you guys want. And then I'll send them out to you.
Okay, motion to,
You want to adjourn?
yeah.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I got it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor?